Alright guys, welcome back to the Dark Souls 2 walkthrough, Indiana Jones style. In the last episode we got the Scorching Iron Scepter, and we're going to use it right here to unlock this elevator contraption. Now I want to clarify some things. In the last episode I made a few mistakes. I said there were only 3 bonfires in this DLC, when in fact there are more than 3. I believe there's like 7, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. Now, we are going to kill the first boss, the Smelter Demon. The Smelter Demon is not a terrible boss. However, it is a horrible run-up to the boss. And you can fight the run-up enemies if you want to, but I have decided that the fastest and the easiest way is to simply run to the boss. And we're going to do that in a very strategic way. But let's get our fire crossbow out, because we have to get a key here, and we want to take out our little barrel friends here. You could use this room as a trap for the big dudes if you really want to kill the big dudes out here. There are multiple big dudes out here, and I have decided that it's just better to run towards the key on the edge of the cliff here. Don't get too close to that guy as he's spawning, or you'll slow down right there, as you see. Now, I just like to bait him an attack out and then just get the Titanite chunks right here. You don't have to get these items. You'll probably get smacked in the head if you try to get them, but I just wanted to get the chunks. Now that we have the tower key, we can unlock the door that leads to the Smelter Demon area. Now, the Smelter Demon area was meant to be a co-op area because the odds are stacked against you down here. The run-up to this boss is atrocious, guys. It's absolutely horrendous. You have to go through multiple enemies, archers, mages that shoot lightning and cast a dark spell on you that limits your movement speed. Basically, you have to walk. You can't run anymore. Well, you'll do like a slow walk, kind of like you're in the swamp or something. It's a pain in the ass, guys. It's horrible. This might be the worst run-up, actually worse than the Frigid Outskirts. I'd say that this is up there, right up there with it. Alright guys, so for your loadout for this boss and the run-up to the boss, empty everything out except your fists. We're going to use the fist to kill Smelter Demon, but we need the Flame Quartz Ring plus 3, Vanquisher Seal, Flynn's Ring, Ring of Blades. We want to maximize our damage output for fists. And we want to make sure we summon our buddies here. Now there's a lever right here if you want to pull it, but all it does is activate some enemies and open up some cell doors, which I just don't think it's worth it. We're just going to wait right here for our buddies to come, and then we're going to drop down and begin our run to the boss. This might take you a few tries. It's pretty RNG heavy. So run up here, draw this guy's aggro, run back, wait for the enemies to start attacking your buddies. Once they're engaged in combat, then we're just going to use that distraction to run, but you are going to get dark magic cast right here on us. We're going to stop and wait. Wait for the magic to subside, and then we're going to start running again. You don't have to wait for your buddies. You can just let them do their own thing. Once the magic has worn off, then start running again. I like to just jump past this guy. Just stick to the left and jump or roll past this guy. And again, you're going to have that magic cast on you. Now here you might be in a little bit of trouble. This is a tricky part. I didn't think he was going to jump down here, and I nearly died because of him. I'm trying to save Estus, so use your best life gems if you can. You want to have all the Estus for Smelter Demon, because he does a lot of damage, and you're going to take fire damage from him constantly. Try to heal up as much as you can. This is that annoying mage I was telling you about. Now we want to make sure we go ahead and get rid of our buddies right here. You may or may not get dark cast upon you here. We're just going to run as fast as we can. I think he was just preoccupied with hitting my buddies with the lightning. Couldn't get past that guy though. But make sure you heal up as soon as you go through the wall. You can run up and get a few shots on him, but I wanted to heal. Again, this is the same way as we killed the Smelter Demon before, but this one does a lot more damage. We're going to use our fists and attack whenever we can. Just try to keep rolling behind him. Now, if he does that jump where he puts his sword in the ground, get away from him because he'll do an AoE attack most of the time. Not all the time, but sometimes. I like to use the double-handed R1s as much as I can. They're quicker than the double R2s, but sometimes I will use the R2s. Now he'll buff himself a few times in this fight. When he does the last buff, you can get a lot of extra hits in on him while he's buffing, so you feel free to do that. Right here, when he does this, I should have used the double-handed R1s on that one. But once he's got his sword on fire here, this is when he does the most damage, so you gotta be very careful. I mean, you see the damage he's doing to me, and you're gonna get constant fire damage from getting close to him because he's emitting that fire from his body. Just be very careful and keep trying to get behind him. Heal when you have to. That's basically the gist of it. You roll behind him, attack him when you can, just don't get too greedy, and rinse and repeat. And again, just try to avoid that one attack. I didn't avoid this one attack where he gets fire across the ground with his sword. Just pretend you're fighting those stone enemies from Hyde's Tower of Flame. You don't even have to roll. You can just kind of run around him. Oh, man, that's a tough... Oh, man. Smelter Demon does a lot of damage, guys. This one does. There's that attack that I was telling you about. That fire across the floor. We're hoping to get a critical hit at some point. You want to make this fight last as short as possible. And I don't know, that's a bad hitbox. I'm pretty sure I dodged that attack, and I still got screwed over. And yeah, I wasn't very good at fighting this guy. Now this is the attack right here where he plunges his sword in the ground. Now, he didn't do it that time, but this time you'll see he does the AoE attack. It's just better whenever you see that sword go into the ground, just get away from him. It's better that way. Double-handed R1s, I highly recommend doing those instead. And he's dead. Very sloppy fight, but the gist is get behind him. Avoid that plunging attack because he's going to do that AoE attack most of the times. And that sword that he flames across the floor. His overhead attacks are more dangerous than his other attacks. And for our trouble, we'll get the Pharaoh Mask. I'm not sure what this does. We're not going to use it, but it is an item. Now that we've killed Smelter Demon, we can go on to the Fume Knight. Now, in the last video, I mentioned that you needed at least 4 Smelter Wedges to kill Fume Knight without him healing. So we're going to go get that 4-pack of Smelter Wedges right now. And then we're going to go to Fume Knight. Now do not, after you get the 4-pack of Smelter Wedges, do not use any Smelter Wedges on any idols except the ones that are around his boss room. Or you will screw yourself. Now on the way to Fume Knight, we're going to get a few items. Some of them are hidden pretty well. We're going to go get a Crystal Lizard that's kind of tricky to hit. And we're also going to get a package of bright bugs, 2 of them. We're also going to get a mask that can nullify curse completely, but we're not really going to need it because we're going to have the crown of the king that's blessed, and we're going to use that for the final fight with Nashandra because she will not be able to do jack to us with curse, and we're just going to use Elizabeth mushrooms on top of that, and we won't even flinch in that fight. But right now, you want to take the other elevator up. Now this is a little bit of a tricky jump here. You can roll or jump right about here. Now make sure you have a single whip equipped and do your double-handed R2 right about here. About the corner of that wall. If you wait any longer, that lizard's going to jump off the cliff. Now here are your 2 bright bugs. These are going to come in very handy in the next 2 bosses. We're going to use one for Fume Knight and one for Sir Alone. I keep mispronouncing it. It's best to just go ahead and go back to the bonfire here. I've tried getting back on the elevator and I've died trying to do that. Now, I mentioned the mask that nullifies curse. It's called Hollow Skin, and it's very well hidden behind an illusionary wall as you're going up an elevator shaft, so it's kind of hard to find. This is not a 100% walkthrough, but I'm trying to get the items that are worth getting, the ones that are definitely worth getting, and this is an item that's worth getting. Because even though the crown will do even better, the Blessed Crown, it doesn't carry over to New Game Plus, so this item will nullify curse no matter what. At least, I'm not sure if it nullifies 100% of curse, but it does a lot for it. Now you want to just keep mashing the interact button right here as you're going up, and you'll have to go right back down. You'll have opened a secret passage right here. You'll get the hollow skin. If you didn't want to get the crowns blessed, then this is definitely an item that you're going to want to use for Nashandra. You won't be able to be cursed at all by wearing it. At least that's what I haven't tested it, but I know the blessed crowns will not let you be cursed at all. I'm not sure if the hollow skin does 100% nullification or what, but right here we want to punch our friend, the horse head again. Now coming up is a very tricky item to obtain. We're going to have to unequip all of our DPS for our fists just momentarily so we can punch the barrel guys and persuade them to go into the fire up these stairs right here. It's kind of a tricky situation, but we want the ring because it's a very good ring called the Dispelling Ring, and it gives you a lot of resistances, so you definitely want it. So I basically unequipped everything, but I'm still going to be doing pretty good damage just because I'm so overpowered with my fists. But we've unequipped Vanquisher Seal and the Engraved Gauntlets and all that, so we want to punch our little friends and persuade them to go towards the fire. Just keep on punching them, and they'll eventually walk into the fire. And now the entrance is opened, and you'll get the Dispelling Ring +1. Now we're just going to equip everything back again because we got to kill some enemies down this hallway. Although we are going to use the horse head to help us out, but there's quite a few enemies in this path. I forgot to put my Engraved Gauntlets back on for some reason. But we'll just punch the horse head. Yeah, I put them on now. There's going to be that annoying archer guy there, and there's some more enemies. I don't like to fight them all at once, but the old whip setup is the best for the situation. You can kill a lot of them at once. You get them all in one group. Nice. I know why they made the old whip so fragile, because they're so damn powerful. Alright. The 4-pack of Smelter Wedges. Once you have obtained this item in this chest, these 4-pack of Smelter Wedges, do not use any more Smelter Wedges except for the boss. Otherwise, like I said before, I keep repeating this because unless you make a backup save of your game file, it's going to make the boss fight a nigh impossible loss. I mean, I'm sure it's possible. You might have some friends to help you and stuff, but just don't get in that situation. Alright, so we're going to load up for Fume Knight. We need bright bugs. We're going to use 1 bright bug. The Puzzling Stone Sword is the key to victory. And the Leo Ring. I'm not the greatest at the Leo Ring, but in this boss fight it works pretty well, I think. Now, we don't need Vanquisher Seal, so I'm eventually going to unequip it, and you'll want to replace it with the Chlorantha Ring +2 for extra stamina. Now, the Fume Knight is a very dangerous boss because of his second phase. His first phase is whatever, standard stuff, but his second phase, he's got some very powerful attacks. There's one in particular where he swings his sword around that's buffed with fire, and it's got ridiculous range, and if it hits you, it's going to take off over half, maybe 3/4 of your health sometimes. It is very powerful. We'll have to descend multiple floors here. You're not going to take much fall damage, so equipping the cat ring is not really necessary here. Plus, we're going to get to a bonfire near the boss anyway, so feel free to use up all your Estus if you have to. But there's also an item down here, Partisan +8. You'll remember the Partisan from the Dark Souls 1. It was like that spear weapon, and I've heard it's a very, very good weapon. Of course, we're not using it for our build, but it is an item. You can backstab these guys pretty easily. Try not to step on the area that's dark, as it will give way. It's an obvious trap. These guys are just too easy to backstab now. There's a couple of more enemies down there too. Like a couple of them. Where's that partisan? I know it's around here somewhere. It's down here. Just try not to fall through too many holes at once or you might miss it. Yeah, this is the one that has the multiple enemies. There's the partisan right there. It's actually a partisan +6, not 8. I was thinking about the cestus that I got earlier. Now, I screwed this part up. Don't take the path that I do here. There's a ledge you can actually go onto and shoot the big dude from a distance, and you won't even have to deal with him. But I just dropped down too far here. The ledge is over there. You can see it. You'll have to fight this guy and the big dude if you just drop down. But yeah, right there behind me is the ledge I should have dropped to. So this guy is no joke. I mean, he can give a lot of damage to you. I probably should have used the bone fist here too. Maybe I could have stun locked him, but I'll struggle a little bit with this fight, but we get him eventually. Oh, that could have ended me right there for sure. I was too close to him. Yeah, just shoot this guy from a distance by getting on the ledge. There's no sense in fighting him like this. Work smarter, not harder. I'm whiffing a lot on my attacks here. Oof. Alright, now that he's dispatched. The next few enemies we're not going to deal with because there's an idol that's healing them over and over and it's pointless. So, unless you can one-shot them, I guess. So we're just going to run to the boss. Well, the bonfire anyway. But before we get to the bonfire, we're going to make sure we use our smelter wedges on the idols. Yeah, don't fight that guy or this guy. It's just not worth it. Not sure about this archer, but we're just going to run past him as well. And down this elevator is the boss arena area. Now there are some big dudes that will spawn. I'm not sure what triggers their spawn. I don't trigger their spawn until after I get to the bonfire, so just take the path that I do and you won't have to deal with them. But here's the fog wall right here ahead of you, but don't go into it until you dispatch all of the 4 ashen idols that surround this boss arena. I usually just come over here first and work my way around. Just kind of stick close to the side. I'm not sure if going out in the middle triggers their spawn or not. Luckily for us, there's a bonfire right next to the boss arena, so if you're having trouble with Fume Knight, you can go right around the corner and he's right there again. Takes like 15 seconds to get back to him. Guess the devs had some mercy. I mean, the run-ups to the next boss is the one that we did for Smelter Demon and the one that we're going to do for Sir Alone is just it's terrible. But they do give you a bonfire next to his boss memory as well. Now that all of our Ashen Idols are destroyed, we're going to go hit the bonfire up. Again, Let's make sure we have our loadout the way we need it. Now we don't need Vanquisher's Seal, so we're going to get rid of that and replace it with the Chloranthy Ring +2. So we have the Leo Ring, the Ring of Blades +1, the Chloranthy Ring +2, and the Flynn's Ring. This is our loadout, and we're going to have the Bright Bug. We're going to activate the Bright Bug just before we enter the Fog Wall. We're going to run up to Fume Knight and just start stabbing the hell out of him with the Puzzling Stone Swords, R1, double-handed R1s. Let's do this. Now there's the guys that spawn. I don't know if it's triggered by activating the bonfire or not. I could have sworn that they came before that, but here we go. Activate the Bright Bug just before you enter. And I suggest you guys make a backup save before doing this, because Bright Bugs are not easily replaceable. They're a very finite resource. Now we're just going to run up, kind of let your stamina recharge, and just go to town on him. And then just get behind him as much as you can. Just keep rolling behind him. Now he'll have that drawn out swing with his greatsword that will sometimes clip you, as it just did me. If you get hit by his other sword, you can get comboed pretty easily, and it will do a lot of damage. I get comboed and nearly die here. You'll see it. Again, I hate that drawn out attack with his greatsword, but we already got him down to half already. And here's where I nearly died. If I didn't have the Bright Bug, I would have died there for sure. But he's trying to buff already, because we've got him down to where he needs to buff. But look at that, we're really wailing on him. And this, you got to be aggressive with Fume Knight. And when he does that, you just have to kind of dodge through those fireballs. Now, the weakness to Fume Knight's second phase is when he does a stab attack. Just roll towards him just like this, and then go behind him and stab him again. And that's the attack right there you do not want to get hit by. That one will do a tremendous amount of damage to you. But yeah, when he does a stab move, just roll towards him and just keep trying to stab his back. I mean, it looks easy, and it's not that hard really with this loadout. Just keep rolling towards him when he does that stab. You just want to keep baiting that move, the stab attack, because he's very vulnerable. You've seen how easy it is to dodge him. But really the key is having the Bright Bugs. So make sure you have those saved up. Now, this is the final crown of the DLC. We have the 3 crowns of the DLC, but we can't get them blessed yet by Vendrick because we don't have the King's Crown. So in order to get the King's Crown, we have to kill the hollowed Vendrick in the Undead Crypt. But before we can do that, we have to get Giant Souls, as many of those as we can. And unfortunately, one of my early videos, I used one of my Giant Souls that I got from the Black Gulch. Do not do that. That was a big mistake I made, and I didn't have a backup at the time, so I couldn't fix it. So do not use that soul. So we're going to have 4 instead of 5, but it's still going to be enough to kill him. And then once we kill Vendrick in the Undead Crypt, we can go back to the Shrine of Amana and go into a secret passage, but we have to be human to unlock the door for some reason. And then we can get the Soul of the King and the King's Crown. And once we get that, then we can go back to the Undead Crypt, go into the memory, talk to the unhallowed Vendrick, and we will get our crowns blessed. And they will never become hollow again as long as we're wearing them. And we will have 100% immunity to curse, which is very nice to have. Now we're putting on the Bracing Knuckle Ring +2 again. We're going to have the Stone Sword and 2 Old Whips for our battle with Sir Alone. Now bear in mind, if you're looking to get the Mad Warrior Mask, then you can farm it from these phantoms that spawn near the boss's entrance to the memory. As long as you don't destroy the idol or kill the boss, I think. I'm not sure which one it is. You can just go into the Company of Champions and continuously farm these guys, and you might get the Mad Warrior Mask. It's a lot easier to farm it here than going into the Balefree Soul, which we didn't even go into, and take out the guy there. So yeah, this is definitely where you want to farm if you want to get it. The Predator type mask. Alright, so if you're struggling with this run-up to this boss, then you want to drain the area by killing the enemies 12 times. This is one of the times where I would recommend despawning the enemies in the old Iron King memory leading up to Sir Alone, because it's just, it can be a very frustrating experience. I found a good way to run to the boss, but if you're just at your wit's end and you just want to just run through an empty room and get to the boss, then just kill all the enemies multiple times until they despawn. And eventually they'll despawn, but I found a pretty good way of running through this area where I don't have to despawn the enemies. Now right here you're going to get invaded right off the bat, and you're going to get invaded by multiple enemies. They just run past all of them. If you get too close to where they spawn, you're going to slow down a little bit, which can give them the time they need to kill you. Well, all we're trying to do is get to the bonfire and light it. And then we're just going to run to the memory. Just light it and run. The memory's right in front of you, so... Now, you only have like a 5-minute time limit when you're in the memories. I'm not sure about this one, but I'm pretty sure it's the same for everything. I'm not sure if that extends to the actual boss fight itself, but you want to go ahead and summon these two guys and have the puzzling stone sword out to fight the enemies that are going to get in your way. You're going to need to kill a salamander and a few enemies along the way, but for the most part we're going to be letting our friends take the aggro. So you're going to need repair powder for your whips, because we're going to use it on the boss. Now run up here, draw this first guy, and just kind of run him around this pillar until the enemies start attacking, and then run. Stay to the left and run. The pillars will protect you from the fire most of the time from the salamander that's shooting from the right. Now you want to take this path right here, and hopefully that guy there's a buffed soldier with his lightning sword that will come. Just immediately take out this salamander as fast as you can and jump down this hole. Your buddies will take care of themselves. Don't worry about them. Now here's the difficult room. This room has archers that hit really hard. And what you want to do is draw these enemies out and run this way. You can use the pillars for cover if you need. But just stick to the left and let your friends come. Now you can still get shot at the base of these stairs. So get your black crystal out. Now they'll stop giving aggro at this point right here, and just go ahead and just despawn your guys and get ready for the fight. Now Sir alone is not too hard of a fight. The main thing you cannot let happen is if he stabs you with his grab stab move, his sword's going to be buffed, he's going to have extra damage, and he's going to take less damage. So get your bright bug out and buff yourself, and get your whips out. I tried to go in for a quick attack here, but it didn't work. Now the main thing is to dodge, you need to roll backwards 90% of the time. I should have been using my my pincher attack here, but I thought it'd be safer to use the R1s. He's very susceptible after a stab move, so as you can see, the main thing is you're not going to be rolling left to right. The main thing about this fight is you're just going to roll backwards. You'll notice when he does his stab or his gliding move where he covers half the screen in like 1 second. All you have to do is dodge backwards. That's it. That's the key to this whole fight, really. And just don't get hit by his glowing stab move. That's the one thing you cannot get hit by. Just don't get hit by it. There's really not much else to say. We have the bright bug, so the pincher attack is still the best to use. And you just got to get your timing right with those backward rolls. The main thing is just don't roll side to side, just roll backwards. Mistimed there again, and just watch your whip's durability, because you're going to need... Try not to heal or use your repair powder. There's the one you don't get hit by that one. You get hit by that one, and it's going to be a really hard time. But I usually don't try to heal or use my repair powder until after he's... I say that, and then I do exactly what I said not to do. And right here I got lucky. I don't know how he missed me here. And he'll start doing a jump attack as well, but it's quite easy. It's kind of like the Lost Center jump attack. It's very easy to dodge, really. I just didn't get my timing down on this guy. But the main thing is to just dodge backwards with the rolls. That's the number one thing to know. And try not to get caught in the corners of the rooms. Just kind of stay out in the middle as much as you can. And when he does that uppercut slash move, that's another time you can attack. He's really not that hard of a boss, especially with the old whip setup and the bright bug. He's really not that bad. And just remember to dodge backwards with your rolls, and you'll get the Smelter Wedge from the throne. That's the last Smelter Wedge. Now you can feel free to explore the area anytime you want and get all those idols before. But I said, like again, don't do that if you're planning to farm for the Mad Warrior Mask. Now all that's left is to go to Majula, level up a little bit, and get ready for our next round of boss fights in the next video. In the next video, we're going to be taking out the Ancient Dragon, and we're going to do all the memories, and I'll try to squeeze in Vendrick and the Blessing of the Crowns in the next video, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to do all that. I don't think it'll take that long, really. And then the final video will be killing Nashandra and Aldea. Again, I'm not sure how much I can squeeze into the next couple of videos. And I might do Dark Lurker, and I want to do what is definitely the hardest part of Dark Souls 2, is killing the 2 Dark Pursuers after you kill Nashandra and you have the bonfire aesthetic in the King's room in Dringlake's Castle. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in Dark Souls, guys. I had to use a glitch to do it. I'm not doing it legit. Sorry. See you guys next time.